Action.
This is a side crunch or lateral flexion with the stability ball. First, Ryan's going to go ahead and come down in position. This is a common mistake people make when setting up on the exercise. It's a good idea to go ahead and prop your feet up against something so you don't slide away. Usually when we see people do this, they're going to go in position and go ahead and come on up. And you can see his whole body is kind of coming up out of position. A lot of times you'll see them come all the way up, where they're straight up perpendicular to the floor. Go ahead and go down. All we really want to see is lateral flexion of his spine. So he's going to go ahead and drop that ball down. The center of the ball is going to sit between his bottom rib and his hip bone. So you can see that right in the center here. He's going to go ahead and create a stretch over the ball. And as he comes across, you're going to just see this lateral flexion of his spine, hip stable. Where before we saw his entire body coming up. So it wasn't lateral flexion of his spine, he was getting his whole body, kind of like in a crunch. Sometimes you see people come up into a full sit-up and not just flexion of their spine. Sometimes this position is a little bit too difficult. If you go ahead and place your hands over your shoulders, that's actually a little bit less resistance. And go ahead and come across, and you should feel that totally isolated in the side oblique area here and all the way down. One of the big things though, whenever you're using the ball, make sure you go through that full range of motion. That's the advantage of using the ball. So go ahead and come up. A lot of times what we see, people come down, kind of like when they do just a regular crunch on here, and they stop there and they come back up. And they're not getting that full range of motion, so we want him to come all the way down and then come up. This stays stable and isolates the oblique area here. And that's the side crunch or lateral flexion with the stability ball.